He's in a boot camp.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great weekend. So today, guys, we want to talk about the situation that's happening with the Hive cryptocurrency. It's now up over 66%. It's had a 24-hour volume of $1.8 billion, right? So members of the Hive community, this is something that many of us have been hoping for quite a bit of time. And we thought that the Hive blockchain would change the face of how we do social media, right? So many of us are still stuck on your Twitters and your Instagrams, these centralized social media networks, right? That are controlled by centralized groups. We're at the whim of these small groups that are controlling all of our data, all social media as such. And so many of us had predicted years ago that we would opt to want to control our own data. We would opt to be in control of our own social media, right? Unfortunately, um, the urgency of that just hasn't got there yet. Now, it should have got there, but I think the reason it hasn't is because we still suffer from a severe lack of education when it comes to understanding the choices and options we have in these particular areas. Social media has become so important now that, you can't conduct business without it. You can't communicate without it. Much of your news and media comes from there. Much of your business promotion and marketing goes to there. And so it is just at this point, uh, not even possible to deny the importance of social media, right? Now, when you combine that with cryptocurrencies, right, and such, you have unlimited potential, right? You're talking about a network that can potentially house half of the global population, if not more, right? Billions upon billions of people, right? And there aren't many networks in the world that can do that. There are only a few that can do that. And you're probably going to be looking at something like Google or YouTube, right? The largest networks on the face of the planet, and much so the reason that they're large scale the way they are is because of the fact that they're free. They work on freemium services, right? When you get on social media, you don't have to pay for a membership, etc. Now, Hive, unfortunately, never hit the threshold, nor its predecessor, the Steam blockchain, and a lot of that had to do with because what makes the Steam and Hive blockchain actually work is, we have to hold Hive power, right? In order to, and have this bandwidth in order to, be able to use the network. Somebody has to pay for the network still. And so what you get in that case is, because they're not using your data to pay for it, so it doesn't have the advantage of your Twitters and your Instagrams and your Metas and all that. So what happens is uh, the high power has to basically allow you to bandwidth to use the network, right? This is at a low level, still a membership, site you're paying for, right? Just to put it in, layman's terms, right? And so remember, the biggest network's going to be the free network, right? Hive hasn't been able to quite get there with that, right? And it probably never will because at some point you got to pay that membership, right? But here's the thing, though, it may not be able to do it directly, but it can do it through applications that are connected to it, right? In other words, there are other applications connected to the Hive blockchain that funnel through the blockchain, but are free to the end user to the point where you can be exposed to the Hive blockchain without, having to go through that barrier of entry, so to speak, right? And that's going to be very important if you wanted to see a astronomical growth in Hive, right? So today we're just going to talk about where I think the Hive blockchain, as far as price, can reach in the short term, and we're going to talk about why it's doing so well at this point in time. It's doing darn well, 63 cents, right? And so the first part we need to understand is what has caused this explosion in price, right? I think last week it was hovering around 30 cents, 40 cents. As such, it's up 63%. So, what has happened or what occurred was that the Binance, uh, the Binance exchange introduced Hive to futures trading, right? So they have a high pair against the USDT, right? And a lot of the Korean markets, which have been big supporters of the Hive blockchain, have propelled this price up very high. Now, uh, this is something that typically happens, right, in the Korean markets. They like Hive, right? Uh, and it's something just about, I don't know if what's happening with Hive is kind of comparable to what they do in China with your WhatsApp and things like that, where you can actually purchase through the applications, right? You can use it like money, and you have your payment gateways where you can go buy your coffee. You can do all this right through the network, right? In China, they take payments and such, right? So maybe in Korea there could be a similar thing happening with Hive. I don't know all the details, but I know like Hive, right? Unfortunately, they have a habit of pumping these high prices to the stratosphere, and they usually crash right back down to where they were before. Now, is this going to happen this time around? Not necessarily, I don't think, because I think Hive might hold some of that value due to this, latest development with the futures trading, and the Hive is a very interesting product because it could kind of be stable with a good amount of potential gains, right? And that's kind of rare in cryptocurrency, right? Generally, in cryptocurrency, you might have something like a highly speculative, price in a cryptocurrency. You don't know where it's going to be, or it might be more akin to a stable price, but you don't know if it's ever going to move. And so, somewhere Hive kind of has an interesting balance that might lend itself to opportunity. Also, a lot of people feel bullish about Hive, as to say, oftentimes the price ranges that Hive has traded at, oftentimes we've thought it undervalued, right? Like we're probably looking at Hive to hold around $1 billion market cap. Like I don't think that's something that it would be outrageous, to see. So if Hives is around $316 million market cap at this stage, right? Uh, for it to hit $1 billion market cap might not be outside the scope, right? And so it's done it before, and I think that it can potentially do it again. So you would be looking at maybe a Hive. Well, not so much Hive did it, but its predecessor, which is the same community, because pretty much the Steemit community did it, the Steam community did it, and most of those people through the fork ended up coming to Hive instead, or they use Hive in some capacity, right? And so what you're gonna I could foresee, or I would predict, and it's not, this is just, personally my prediction and how I'm looking at the market. It's not financial advice. It's not, oh, it's going to do this and you should go buy it. In fact, I'm a big proponent of freemium services, right? I believe in the universal basic income cryptocurrencies, and I believe in building networks and not speculating, right? So I know most people are traders in cryptocurrency. That's your thing. This isn't a trading channel, but I do have some practical reasons why I think the high price will change, right, to the upside. Um, and so you know, I would think that we're looking at the highest level a market cap well over $1 billion with a price range of about $3, and towards the lower end, somewhere around $1.70, $1.80, right, with a market cap of about just under $1 billion, right, and so that's what my Hive coin price prediction would be over the next few months. Now, of course, again, with the Korean markets propelling a lot of this, people could start taking a lot of profits, and Hive could crash, right? Easily, right? It does it all the time. Also, remember, the way Hive works is that you don't really need money. A lot of it are applications where you're writing these posts and you're writing these, and you're getting you're getting money from these posts and such, and building up these social media networks. And unfortunately, although Hive can trade pretty well, as new money gets introduced, Hive suffers a complicated learning curve to get new people in. So what happens is a lot of new people who will want to enter into Hive, they'll have so much difficulty getting in. There's only so many people that can get onto the Hive network. So you're not going to see an explosion on the Hive blockchain such as you would see on a traditional social network. That's also as well something you have to keep in mind. Okay, so I believe this is a little bit more closer an idea to what would happen on the Hive blockchain, right? So you have all these applications, you have these tokens, right, that exist on the Hive blockchain, right? And throughout these applications, right, there are various ways to enter into the Hive network without going through the high barriers of entry, the education needed. There are applications like Bitcoin MYK that uses the citizens dividend, which allows a very easy way to be exposed to the Hive blockchain and to get these tokens free, which, as you can see, can be exchanged for Hive, right? Um, and that's a very appealing means to get on the Hive blockchain, because you're not going to have to know how to get on it, because a lot of people are going to have difficulty setting up or getting a Hive wallet. You're going to have someone fund the wallet for you, because you're probably not going to have any Hive to do it, right? So it's so many steps, right? And so that's why I think applications like Bitcoin MYK are going to be so very important that people go through networks like this. And later on, as they have Hive in their wallets and they can fund their wallets and they can do a variety of things, right? Through the network, then they'll be able to, really engage in the full availability of the networks, right? So it's a lot that goes into the barrier of entry with Hive. That's its biggest problem, getting people in. And of course, that's what's ultimately going to hurt the value and the price, right? But if you're interested in products like Bitcoin MYK, that we believe is a solution for that and something that can get Hive up to the billions, trading the Bitcoin MYK token against Hive as such. Obtaining that citizens dividend through freemium services free, and where now you're part of that network, we would invite you to subscribe to the channel. That way you can watch videos that teach you all about how to do it in the easiest, most comprehensible way, right? But yeah, that's my prediction. It's going to be about $2 on the low end, about $3 on the high end, probably over the next several months. Again, not financial advice. Again, it has been pretty much the program that when the Korean markets get excited about Hive, they pump these prices up very high. People take profits and they come crashing back down, and they do it quickly, right? There are many reasons for the sale pressure to be phenomenal against Hive, unlike any other cryptocurrency. So even though it can go up in amazing value like this, please keep in mind that this thing can crash in a few hours, right? Or even faster than that, right? And Hive has a notorious habit and history of that happening to it, right? So I want to keep you all in mind of that. But we're excited about Hive because of our project Bitcoin MYK that trades on it. We just think that Hive works in a very user-friendly way with Bitcoin MYK. It is a very seamless and a very natural way to use these products and services together. And we would invite you to go over to bitcoinmyk.com, try it out so you can see what we're talking about. It's a social media feature where you just do normal things you do online, social media, and you earn these cryptocurrencies, which in turn earns you Hive, right? So pretty cool stuff. Let us know what you think. If you have any predictions, leave them in the comment section below. Let's see who gets the closest. But anyway, that's all for this video. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.